Still backstage. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, young
I'm going to bring him up.
Oh, okay. He's yelling in the side chat.
Okay, welcome back again, everybody, to another live stream. Yeah, as you all know, we made an announcement that we'll be having Brother Maverick as our guest speaker for today's live stream. You all know him. You ever since we've begun our live stream, and then we've had Aladdin come up. He has been talking about Brother Maverick, and you know this back and forth thing between Aladdin and Young Christian thought about Brother Maverick. So each time there's no time Aladdin's going to come up, he would always mention Brother Maverick. So for those of you that don't know who Brother Maverick is, you can see him right there. That's Brother Maverick. Is so you'll be taking us on the journey on the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. So he will be our guest speaker, and he sent us some materials which I myself personally have looked into, the academical materials. So whatever thing he will be saying today is based on academical research. So don't hold him responsible. These are evidences that has been researched on by the academians, and they've seen this to be true. So whatever your Muslims, Dawagandis, or your Muslim imams, your sheikhs, they might say to you, it does not outweigh that of the academias, because these are unbiased research made about the Quran and made about the 1924 Quran text. So, Brother Maverick, over to you. You can do the presentation now.
Amen, brother. Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the Christian Apologetic Network for having me on this channel. It's a great honor for me to be invited anywhere to speak on anything. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. A huge shout out to Christian Apologetics Network, guys. Please make sure you're hitting that sub button, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help a lot. He's taking time out of his personal time to do this for you guys, and I really do appreciate it. And welcome to, of course, the Young Christian. I mean, I guess you could subscribe to the Young Christian if you want to, but definitely make sure you subscribe to Christian Apologetic Network. I'm joking, Johnny. I'm joking. I had to get one in on you today. Now, before we start, guys, I do 100% agree with Christian Apologetic. Everything that I'm going to say to you guys today comes from information that I have actually forwarded in efforts of full transparency to the Young Christian, and he has. I've shown him that you can verify any one of these things. These are historians that have been studying this particular subject matter for the last few centuries. There are publications, there are books that are available to be found, and I know that Christian Apologetic is going to go ahead and make that available to you guys, so that you can verify anything and everything that I am saying. And I'm going to go ahead and get into my presentation, and I have actually prepared a slideshow as well for you guys. So, talking about the incident in Cairo, Egypt in 1924, guys. A lot of you guys are not even aware that something happened. After today, God willing, you will be. Now, before we even touch Cairo 1924, I want to frame the real issue here, because this debate usually starts in the wrong place. Now, Muslims do not claim that the Quran is mostly preserved or substantially preserved or preserved in message. That's not what they claim. They claim something much, much stronger. They claim perfect preservation, which means, guys, letter for letter, dot for dot, identical everywhere at all times, from Muhammad to today. No other major religion in history makes that kind of textual claim, and they honestly shouldn't. The moment that you show that human beings had to step in at any point to decide what counts as the Quran, the claim is already in trouble. And I don't mean Christians poking holes from the outside. I mean actual Islamic history itself showing that preservation was never as simple or as clean as modern Muslims are taught and constantly try to teach you through propaganda. Now let's go back to the beginning. After Muhammad's death, the Quran was not sitting in a single bound book. It existed in memories, partial writings, even on bones and leaves, and personal collections on sheepskins and things like that. That alone should already raise questions, because a text that exists primarily in oral form plus scattered material is not mechanically preserved in the way that Muslims claim today. But Islamic sources themselves tell us that companions disagreed over recitation. Entire surahs were remembered differently by different people. This is why the first compilation even happened in the first place. Now, that's very interesting because you have a dot for dot, letter for letter claim. And not because everything was perfectly uniform, but because people were losing their lives in battle and material was being lost. Again, very interesting. Then comes the famous standardization under the third caliph. And this is where the story Muslims usually have to sanitize. The official narrative admits that one version was selected, and others were destroyed. Now let that sink in, guys. You do not burn alternate copies if perfect preservation already exists. You burn them because differences exist and you want them gone. You don't want people knowing the truth. And Muslims, they'll respond by saying, well, those were just dialectical differences. Those are just harmless variations. It was about accent. But that's not what the sources say. The sources say that companions were accusing one another of incorrect recitation. Again, let that sink in. They're not arguing over accents. They were arguing over the actual content. Now, let's fast forward through time. Even after this early standardization, the Quran was still not one single uniform text in practice. After all that trouble, what developed over centuries was a system of multiple accepted readings, canonical readings, guys, officially valid within Islam. Different regions taught different Qurans, not heretical ones, not corrupted ones, but approved ones. North Africa learned one reading. Egypt, a completely different reading. Parts of the Middle East had another reading. And these were not identical. They differed in wording, they differed in grammar, they had different verb forms, and sometimes even in meaning. And this is not speculation, ladies and gentlemen. This is documented by Muslim scholars long before Christians ever got involved. And here's the key point. For over 1,000 years, Islam functioned with plurality at the textual level, while still claiming perfect preservation with a straight face at the theological level of all things. That tension, it honestly was manageable when everything was handwritten and it was regional and it was a lot easier to stay isolated with your lies. But it exploded the moment the printing press and modern education entered the picture. Then it became a lot harder to hide this lie. Once you start mass printing Qurans, people can compare them side by side. Once you start national exams, you have to decide which answers are correct. And who gets to decide that? Why would you have to if it's all perfect? And suddenly Muslims were failing students for reciting a Quran that was perfectly valid somewhere else in the world. That is the crisis that leads directly to Cairo in 1924. Not Christian pressure, not Western colonialism rewriting Islam, Muslims correcting Muslims because the preservation narrative no longer worked in the modern world, and they knew it. And notice something important, guys. Cairo was not about discovering the original Quran. They couldn't have cared less about that. It was about choosing one. A committee decided which reading would be enforced nationally. Others were removed from schools entirely. They were withdrawn from circulation. This is historically verifiable, and over time erased from public awareness. Uniformity was achieved, but it was achieved by authority, not by miracle, again, as Muslims love to claim. Now let's compare that quickly with the Bible, guys. Christians, we don't claim this kind of mechanical preservation. We never have, we never needed to. Okay, we openly admit the variants, the misspelling errors. We catalog them, we debate them. And because we have thousands of manuscripts across centuries and regions, we can actually trace the text with transparency. Islam claims perfection and hides its history. Christianity allows scrutiny and survives it. So before anyone tells you that Cairo 1924 is irrelevant, ask the obvious question that so many others don't want you to. Why did it need to happen at all? Why did humans have to decide which Quran Muslims would read if Allah already preserved it, every letter, dot for dot, letter for letter, perfectly? That is the question that this presentation is about. And once you face it head on, honestly, the dot for dot, letter for letter slogan stops being a miracle claim and starts looking exactly like what it is, a marketing line. And everything we're about to walk through shows exactly why, which brings us to slide number 1, guys. And let me start by saying this right up front. The reason the 1924 Cairo incident matters is not because Christians went digging for obscure problems. We actually had nothing to do with it. It matters because Islam itself makes one of the strongest textual claims in all of religion. Muslims do not say that the Quran is generally preserved. They say it is perfectly preserved. Dot for dot, letter for letter, every accent mark, identical everywhere, from Muhammad to today. So the moment you introduce a human committee, a government, and a standardization process in the 20th century, that claim is already in serious trouble. And that's exactly what happened in Cairo in 1924, guys. Now, that brings us into, I think, the most important part of this presentation, and it's why this matters. And it matters, guys, because I want you to notice something, all right? Muslims will often accuse us, Christians, of hiding textual issues. They do that all the time. But Christians, we don't claim mechanical preservation. We openly talk about the variants in the Bibles and notice them for what they are. Literal just human error. We catalog them. We argue from overwhelming manuscript evidence. We don't need slogans. We are honest about our manuscripts, all right? But Islam is making one of the miracles. They're the ones making the miracle claim. So Islam carries the burden of proof. And if the Quran really was already perfectly uniform, then the Cairo 1924 incident should never have been necessary in the first place. And that brings us into the meat and potatoes of the issue, the pre-1924 reality, right? And here is the reality before 1924. And this is not Christian propaganda. This is documented Islamic history, folks. Before 1924, there was no single globally uniform Quran anywhere in the region. Different regions used different canonical readings, what are called qira'at. These were not random scribal errors. These were officially accepted readings that were taught in different parts of the Islamic world. You had the Warsh Quran, which was dominant in North Africa, the Hafs Quran, which was dominant in parts of the Middle East. You had the Qalun, the Duri, and others used elsewhere, numbering in the dozens. And when the printing press entered the Muslim world, something extremely uncomfortable happened, guys. People could finally compare the texts side by side. And guess what? They didn't match. And it was very, very uncomfortable and confusing for people who spent their entire lives being told that there's no such thing as a different Quran. Enter the education crisis. Now, here is where the problem became unavoidable. Egypt modernized their education system, which meant what, guys? Mass printing and national exams and standardized recitation testing. Students were literally being failed, punished, or marked incorrect for reciting readings that were accepted as valid in other regions. Not heretical, not fabricated, canonical. That is a crisis. And it had nothing to do, again, with Christians. This was Muslims correcting Muslims on something that they claimed, again, was perfect from the time of Muhammad. Now try to explain why you have two different texts side by side. So at that point, guys, Egypt had a choice to make. Either admit publicly that multiple Qurans existed in practice, or you have to pick one and enforce it. And this is important, guys. This was not a theological debate. At this point, that was over. It was not a theological debate about truth. It was a practical problem. You cannot run a national education system with multiple competing texts. They had already silently acknowledged that there were competing texts, that there were different Qurans. So they now had to figure out which one they wanted to use. So in 1924, under King Fuad I, the Egyptian government stepped in. A state-sponsored committee working through Al-Azhar was formed. Scholars were brought together, again, not to discover the original Quran, but to choose which Quran would be used. And that distinction matters, guys, because these are the very same people who want to sit there and laugh in your face and tell you that you're crazy, that it's never been changed. But they acknowledged long ago that it was. And that committee selected the reading of Hafs an Asim. Why Hafs? not because it was proven to be the original, not because the others were false, but because the Hafs was already dominant in Egypt and it was easier to standardize. Uniformity was the goal, not historical purity. It was the version of the Quran that would hurt their culture the least. Now, what was suppressed? And I want you guys to pay attention here, because this is where the dot for dot claim collapses, as if that wasn't already obvious. Other canonical readings were removed from Egyptian schools. Printed Qurans using the Warsh Kalun and others were withdrawn from circulation little by little. And over time, as they were found, they were burned, discarded, or simply stopped being produced. Now imagine that, guys. Muslims burning Qurans. The differences did not vanish because they were imaginary. They vanished because they were inconvenient. And they were not burning these things because of theological differences. They were burning them because they were trying to save face all around the world. Unfortunately for them, history records this. Now, what's the logical problem behind that? And I'm going to put this very simply, guys. You do not get to standardize what is already supposedly uniform. If every Quran was already identical, Cairo 1924 would have been pointless. The very existence of the project proves that diversity existed at the textual level, which brings me into the most popular argument that Muslims will try to bring forth. Are these just accents? And Muslims will immediately respond by saying that these are just pronunciation differences or dialects. That is demonstrably false. Many variants affect grammar, some affect who is speaking, some affect verb tense, some affect meaning. This is not a debate. This is documented by Islamic scholars themselves. You have some portions of the Quran and one version that will say one person is talking, and then another Quran will say that they're talking about someone else. That's a complete change in the story. And scholarly admissions, such as Arthur Jeffrey, cataloged thousands of textual variants in early Quranic manuscripts. So we're not making this up. Shadi Nasser has written extensively on how the canon of readings developed historically. Yasser Qadi publicly admitted that the narrative of a perfectly preserved Quran is far more complex than Muslims are taught in Sunday school. Again, I want you guys to let that sink in. These are not Christian apologists, okay? These are Muslim insiders, all right? Now, after 1924, something very important happened. Exactly what they wanted. Uniformity increased dramatically. Modern Muslims inherited a standardized text and assumed that it had always existed. That assumption is historically and again demonstrably false. Uniformity was achieved by enforcement and government intervention, not by miracle, right? And of course, you still could not avoid the theological tension that arose after that, right? And that brought forth kind of an unavoidable question, because Islam claims that Allah preserved every single letter, yet human beings had to decide which letters Muslims would read. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not divine preservation. That's called textual management. And what's even worse, it's called textual management at the government level. Now, bringing forth the Christian contrast again, because I feel it's my duty to do so, here's the contrast that Muslims hate to acknowledge. Christianity never claims this kind of mechanical preservation. We argue from massive manuscript evidence, early attestation, and transparent scholarship. Islam, on the other hand, claims perfection and collapses under scrutiny from the earliest canonization. Christianity allows scrutiny and survives it. I want you guys to think about that. All right. Now that's going to bring us next to the very core question of this entire claim here. The question is not whether Muslims have a Quran today. Of course they do. Anybody knows that. The question is why Cairo 1924 was necessary at all if Allah already did what Muslims claim he did, which the rest of the academic world knows was never true from the beginning, and brings us to our inevitable conclusion, guys. The modern Quran is not an untouched miracle floating above history. It is the result of human decisions, political authority, and enforced uniformity. And once you admit that the dot for dot, letter for letter claim is finished, that is not Christian polemics, okay? That is not propaganda. That, unfortunately, for the Islamic world, is history. And that is the end of the presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Nice. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. If anyone wants to add anything, young Christian, then we'll add.
Yeah, I liked everything except the one attack I got from Brother Maverick that could have been left out. Um, so yeah, so this shows so Islam's gonna claim like you'll hear it from Zakir Naik and I don't know if modern apologists still use the same argument, but uh, assuming they do, they're gonna say that the Quran is perfectly preserved, dot for dot, letter for letter, right? You're never gonna find a difference, but this demonstrates that there was a difference. Why did they need to do this whole standardization thing if there weren't any different Qurans or any variants,
Right.
right? And not just in spelling, right? It's more than that because the spelling wouldn't be much of an issue, but if it has different meanings, then that would require a standardization. And so that attacks the direct Islamic claim. Remember, this is documented history. Like this isn't something that Christian apologists just make up. This is documented, and scholarship has analyzed this.
Yep. From the time of Uthman, then that's the game is already over. Because if there is perfect preservation, there is no need to burn the manuscripts.
Yeah.
But we see that even happen in the first, second century of Muhammad. But 1924 is very interesting because they see all the differences and they standardize at least halves to be the main Quran for everyone to read. But even amongst the other variants, Wash and Hafs, Duri, we see the differences. If there is differences or perfect preservation, why is there any differences even from different meaning of the text? Even though Muslims will say those are different dialects, that doesn't mean that they have different meanings, they're the same meanings. No, because in Arabic, if you read them, both of these have different meanings and so on. So pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think that and yeah, still piggybacking off that same thought process, there's a lot of questions to be asked, guys, because one thing, and I will not lie to you guys, I've not even gotten that far into this research because there are so many things to read regionally about the different Qurans and how they developed throughout those, again, specific regions. We have to ask ourselves, we all know here what Caliph Uthman did in the very beginning, right? We all understand that he sent out for competing codices to be burnt. What I find interesting is despite those efforts, over 1,000 years later, we still ended up with so many different Qurans. So if Uthman had not launched the effort that he did after Muhammad's death, imagine how many more Qurans we would have. Because even with what Uthman did, we still ended up with over 30 plus Qurans saying different things. So my question is, who was it that ended up with these different Qurans? Were they people who disobeyed Uthman? They must have been people who didn't turn in their manuscripts, people who didn't turn in their codices, because otherwise, how do you end up with so many different Qurans? And I find it ironic because as I said in the presentation, Muslims will launch attacks at Christians and they'll try to say, well, which version of the Bible? And they say that arrogantly and they'll say it laughing, not understanding that they're the ones who've been lied to. You are literally, you're speaking propaganda, whether you know it or not, and you're accusing us of what your book is actually guilty of. And we don't try to hide the things that we find that were errors because those errors don't change the theological message of the Bible. Your errors just make it even more of a jumbled mess than it already is. It's very ironic to me.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like their apologists and scholars might make arguments like that against the Bible. That we see there's different versions of the Bible, and they're talking
Right.
about different English translations, like
Mhm.
the ESV, and not understanding that there's different translation methodologies. Like you have dynamic equivalence and formal equivalence, which are two different methods of translation. So if there's different versions that do those different methods, then of course they're going to be different because those are different methods of translation. and we have no problem with that. But that's English translations. That's not different Bibles. That's not a different Bible. That's just a different English translation.
Right.
Maybe it appeals to a different manuscript tradition, but it's not an entirely different Bible that was, formulated by control like we see with the Islamic narrative, right? They're the ones that have these different Arabic Qurans that were, and again, the 1924 Cairene text shows this, and this is scholarship that has analyzed this, that they had to standardize a text because of the differences.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, to me is, we actually had a Muslim who called into my stream the other day who literally laughed when I talked about this standardization process and had the audacity to say, that's funny because I'm a Muslim and I'm Egyptian and I don't know anything that you're talking about. Well, that was hilarious to me for two reasons. Number one, I don't care if you know about it. You being unaware of history does not mean that the history didn't occur. Number one. So Muslims, please stop saying that. Oh, I didn't know, but we don't care what you're aware of. That just means you didn't do your homework. The fact of the matter is, can you address what we're saying? Right. And then but you're laughing and you're saying, well, we don't have different Qurans. We don't have this. And the only reason I said it to him was because he was trying to make the different Bibles claim. And I told him, you do understand that when Bibles are translated, there are literally thousands of people involved in that process, and they're always translated from the original manuscripts. We don't translate from Hebrew and Greek to German to African to French. No, we don't do that. That's not how we do it. It's always from the original manuscript. But even still, guys, the dot for dot, letter for letter claim, even on a linguistic level, does not work, because you guys, I don't know if anybody here knows this, but in the original Arabic, there were no diacritical marks, none, which is hilarious to me because they claim literally dot for dot, letter for letter. There were no dots when the original Quran was written. So where did these dots come from? Where did these diacritical marks come from? If it was dot for dot, letter for letter, and classical Arabic didn't have them, what are you talking about? I mean, we can literally do this all day, and this is not a Christian attack. This is an academic attack. If you're going to make a claim, you have to be able to stand by that claim.
Absolutely. Stand by the claim.
Wow. Also, thank you, Brother Maverick, for that wonderful presentation. It was actually pretty eye-opening.
Thanks, man.
For me, this is like a very curious topic for me because I generally tend to stay away from this kind of with picking apart the Quran, because I don't really know about it. But when experts like you come on and do this, it's actually pretty good. And thing is, I don't know why, but a lot of times we find Muslims just throwing out this claim, oh, your Bible is corrupted, you got different versions, you got different translations, and when you say that this is a translation, they say, no, it's not a translation, it's a version. I'm like, do you know what a version means? And that happened like I think the week before last week with the AMP translation. Oh goodness, that was pretty weird. So I was thinking, if I could ask you a few questions about this, though.
Yeah, of course.
First thing is, what would you categorize the Hafs and Warsh as? Could we call that as different versions? Can we classify it as versions? Because yeah. That's what I'm.
Yeah, that's actually a great question. For me, I would say that I want to be very careful how I answer this, because here's the thing, Reason.
Yeah.
When we talk about translations and versions in the Bible, we know where we stand, because we don't have the foundational issue of the original having errors in the message, right? Muslims do have this. So the problem with that is that we can't even say that the one that was standardized in Egypt was the correct version, right? If you have some sort of objective standard to base it off of, then I could say, yes, they're different versions or whatever. The problem with those other ones that were removed is they weren't removed because of erroneous recitation or accent or whatever it is that they claim. These Qurans were removed because, and if you've ever compared these, there was a university, I don't know if it was Cornell or someone else, there was an academic institution that when they studied all the ascertainable Qurans side by side, they found over 93,000 verifiable message changing contradicting texts, right? So the problem with that is that I don't know if we can call them different versions because we don't know what the original Quran said. Till this day, we don't know what the original Quran said. The original Quran is missing literally hundreds of surahs. So instead of calling them different versions, I would call them, to be honest, competing versions because they don't say the same thing. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
We may have different versions of the Bible as far as language, but we don't have competing versions of the Bible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
with
makes
the
sense.
Quran, yeah, you have competing versions. So I have to be very careful with that because in order to say yes, they're different versions, that would insinuate that I know what the objective original Quran says. The problem is nobody knows that. I even Aisha admitted in Hadith that there were original Quranic manuscripts that were being eaten by wild animals. And you have no idea what those manuscripts said. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a great question, but yeah, to be able to answer, I would need an objective standard for what the original Quran said, and unfortunately, nobody has that.
That makes sense. And my second question would be: do we have any idea which is the oldest which is the oldest reading from the ones that we have? Which one do you think most likely is the oldest reading?
I would honestly, I don't know because even from the very beginning, you already had competing readings. Even after Uthman standardized it, and you guys can actually research it, when Uthman standardized this, there were other caliphs who were openly opposing him and already saying that his reading was false. So at the very best, the answer I could give you is they're all just as old as one another because you already had other caliphs in secret competing with Uthman for what they thought the reading should be. And that's actually open. I've read that openly in front, and Johnny's been there a lot of times, where there was another caliph who said that Uthman's reading was a bastardization of the Quran. So from its conception, right after Muhammad, I will tell you they're probably all just as old as the others. I don't think that there's any of these Qurans that are newer or older than the other ones. I think they all splintered from the same time frame.
That's the thing, right? To reason, it's like, so for example, let's bring up like the biblical textual criticism. We can identify sort of the dating of like Codex Sinaiticus or P52 or whatever. Like we can identify the date and see like how old the manuscript is, and we can even identify, like, there's literally a website called Center for New Testament Restoration where you can identify what readings are oldest. You just go into the what's it called? I think it's called manuscript collation section, and then input the verse, and then it will list like maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 of the earliest manuscripts, and then when they were written, and then it shows what the Greek said. Right. So, for example, if you can look at John 1:18, whether it says only God or only Son, and you look at it and you see what the manuscript said. Like we literally have a website for that. I don't know if there's a website for that for the Quran. Maybe there's not, but
is that the website by so Daniel Wallace?
I think there was the thing called the Quran Gateway, but I don't know. They took down the. I can't really see the textual variants page anymore. But when when people were launching the website, Islam critiques and stuff like that, everyone was like pointing out this new website that's coming up. It's gonna put out all the textual variants. I'm trying to access that website now. They don't really show the textual variants anymore.
Yeah, if you need that, I do have a bunch of resources and a saved set of bookmarks. I actually wanted to read you guys an excerpt, and there's a reason. There's a reason. I'm not trying to be funny. That's just you.
Yeah.
There's the reasoning that I'm saying what I'm saying is because from the very beginning, I have researched this, and I want to show you exactly what is known in there, and this is from their hadith, right? This is a Wikipedia. Writing from the actual hadith of what happened with Caliph Uthman. It's a couple of lines. It says, Uthman produced a standardized version of the Quran in the year 652. He sent a copy to each province and ordered that all other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, must be burned. It is said that Ibn Masud was displeased by this finished product. In particular, he said, that he accused Uthman's scribes of adding 3 extra surahs, Surah 1, 113, and 114, that had never been part of the original, and of making many other small changes to the text. Also, that he preached a sermon in Kufa in which he called Uthman's standardized Quran a deceit, and whoever deceives like this will bring his deceit on the day of resurrection. I like it better to read according to the recitation of him whom I love than that of Zaid ibn Thabit. If anyone I knew to be more conversant with Allah's book than I am, I would surely go to him if camels could carry me there. When Uthman's agents came to Kufa to burn all the variants, Abid Allah hid his copy from them. He justified his own version of the recitation by reminding the people, I recited before Allah's messenger more than 70 surahs of the Quran. His companions know that I have a better understanding of Allah's book than they do. And if I were to know that someone had a better understanding than I have, I would have gone to him. It was said that nobody could find fault with Abid Allah's version. So you see what do you see what I'm saying? From the very beginning, it's hard to say, hey, which one was the one that at least, even if we were to say, okay, let's just say Caliph Uthman had the quote unquote original version. It's already widely contested that what he did was a bastardization of it. And there's another guy who's claiming, no, I said it better. I recited more than 70 surahs in front of Muhammad myself. So do you see how from the very beginning? Now, this would be the equivalent. This would be the equivalent of if we had early church workers, early church fathers fighting over which manuscripts were the correct manuscripts, fighting over the writings of the apostles, fighting and burning competing manuscripts. One church father compiling one, another church father compiling another, fighting over it. And we have no such documented history in the Bible. No such documented history in early church history.
Yeah.
We have nothing like that. That's why your questions are brilliant questions. The problem is I will never answer something it's impossible to know. I wasn't there. All we know is that we had a lot of people fighting over what was actually supposed to be in it and not supposed to be in it. And from the very beginning, they didn't even have the actual manuscripts to go in the Quran because a lot of them were lost anyway. There were people who supposedly had recitations that were directly from Muhammad that had already passed away. So what do we do with that? It makes absolutely no sense. It's an insecurity that Muslims have, that they say dot for dot, letter for letter, because it's demonstrably false. And when you accuse them of that, what do? No, you're wrong. I'm Egyptian. I never heard that. I don't care if you heard that before. I don't care. I don't care if you heard it, bro. I sent Johnny, guys, and I don't know if Johnny was able to. I sent him a myriad of academic publications that are whole books that talk about this one incident, that talk about 1924, that talk about the textual variants, the actual message changing textual variants. Were you able to send that to him, Johnny?
Oh, the scholars you sent me?
Mm-hmm.
I think I forwarded to them, yes.
Okay, all right. And I don't know if in the future, Christian Apologetics Network, I don't know if you want to put that in the description, so that people can go ahead and buy these publications for themselves or download the PDFs and look at this for themselves. Because nothing that I'm saying here, guys, I want you to take my word for it. I want you to do this research yourself. I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, this didn't take me more than an hour of research. This presentation was based on literally only an hour of research. Everything that I gave to you was only a little bit. If I was able to find what I was able to find in that time, imagine what these guys who have written entire books have found in their entire lifetime. We're talking about them actually proving that Quranic manuscripts were altered and changed and destroyed. They show you through carbon photographing that original manuscripts are changed. They have the changes of the Sana'a manuscript. This is not Christian propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. This is documented history. Why do you guys think, and maybe Christian Apologetics, maybe you want to address this or anybody else, why do you guys think that Muslim countries that their governments are dominated by Islamic theology, why do you guys think they do not allow independent archaeologists into their country? Ask yourselves that question. If you have nothing to hide, then why do you not want independent, unbiased third parties digging around in your ground? ask yourselves that question.
Yep. Red reason you said something earlier I want to touch on. I think you were asking about whether we can classify these different Qurans as different versions, like like how we have the ESV and the KJV.
Yeah.
To touch on that, I don't think you can do that because, if I'm not mistaken, these different Qurans are in Arabic. So that would be like, so that's different than an English translation of the Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
Yeah.
Versus literally different Arabic Qurans. Does that make sense?
Now, are they different? Are they different versions in the context of saying different things? Yes, they are different versions. They're different.
Yeah.
They're different versions in that way. Absolutely, right.
True.
They're different versions in the fact that they are written in the same language and say completely different things. They are. That's why I call them competing versions.
Yeah.
Competing versions with no original version. The problem with the Quran, ladies and gentlemen, is that not only are they competing versions, but we have no objective standard by which to judge them, because we have no original, and the manuscripts are a joke. They were altered. How do we even know what they originally say? We don't, because we've proven with modern methodology that those manuscripts were all changed, and other ones were destroyed. There are manuscripts that will be forever lost to time. So yeah, that's an interesting question, but we have to answer it differently than we would talking about the Bible, because the Bible makes it very simple for us, right? And nobody here, I don't think anybody here tries to sit there and make this perfect preservation claim about biblical manuscripts. The great thing about it actually being the word of God is that we don't have to, because the message isn't lost no matter what. God's actually here, ladies and gentlemen, when something is actually God's word, you know what it survives? It survives human error. If God's word is so powerful, it not only survived human error, it survived human translation from language to language to language to language, right? It survives that. We don't lose that message. And we have the original manuscripts to go back if we need to find the cultural historical context of a conversation. If we need to find the linguistical context of a conversation, we have that. We don't do like Muslims do when we're having these debates, and you have the Aladdins of the world who will tell you it doesn't matter what you think because you don't speak Arabic. I'm sorry. I don't think that God is so schizophrenic and incompetent that if I'm not a guy who wasn't born 1400 years ago who speaks classical Arabic, I'm never going to truly understand God's word, because this is the insinuation that they make, that you have to speak Arabic to truly understand the word of God. And I think it's laughable. There's nothing more laughable to me than for you to try to gatekeep what you call Allah's word behind the language of Arabic, while Christians make it clear that the real God's word will survive all language because he created all of our language. I don't understand that. If God creates language, then how can his word not survive human translation? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I was trying to get at, because I don't know why, because a version, when I always think about it, it's basically, if we look at the dictionary, the definition would be another form of, basically a different form of the same thing, basically. Right. That's like the basic definition of a version. And every time we call a translation, if I say the NIV translation, they always say no, it's a version, because New International Version, as if it being a version is somehow inferior in some way,
right?
Which I don't understand. So thing is, that's why I'm asking the question, because if they keep attacking, you have different versions of the Bible, you also have different versions of the Quran, but you're not willing to call them versions. You say, oh, they're different dialects, different thing, but if there's something different about it, then it's a version according to the dictionary. So that's why it's a version,
right? And you know what, you have a solid argument for that, because the only thing you have to say to them is, you can call them translations. If you insist on calling them versions, you call them whatever you want. It doesn't change the message. And unlike in Islam, our manuscripts have the same messaging. I can look at two different manuscripts and look at a spelling error. It doesn't matter. Does the message change? If in one manuscript, if you and I write a manuscript and I inadvertently write the wrong there, right? If I write THEIR and in your manuscript, you write the correct one indicating location and you write THERE, and everything else in the manuscript is the same, we can easily identify what the mistake was, and we can ascertain this is what he meant. This is what happens when human beings become involved in a copying process. It does not damage the message. It does not change what was trying to be said. And this is literally, even though it numbers in the thousands, this is literally what is the result of the textual variance in the biblical style, right? Syntactual, spelling errors, things like that, things that were identified easily, especially because we have so many other manuscripts to compare it to. It makes it easier to understand what the difference was.
Can I read this really quick, because I know, like, right, a reason you're mentioning how people will talk about, you know, oh, well, there's different Bible versions, right? They say version. I'm going to read this really quick. This is from the ESV Reformation Study Bible, so it has the preface to the ESV in it. It says here, translation legacy. The English Standard Version stands in the classic mainstream of English Bible translations over the past half millennium. So, and then you can keep, I could keep reading this, but I don't want to spend too much time. But basically, version, like calling an English translation a version, doesn't mean it's a different Bible with a different message that is, oh, which one is it? It's simply a way to describe English translations. They just call it a version, but it's, like you mentioned, the definition, a different form of the same kind. It's just a translation. It's the same Bible, but it's not a. Why am I hearing my voice again?
Oh, wait a second. Maybe I should.
Testing 1 2. A little better now. Anyways, oh, never mind. I hear it again. I think it's Brother Maverick.
What?
I think I hear myself repeating on your side there.
Oh, sorry. It's my headphones are next to my microphone. That's probably what it was.
Okay. Anyway, so what I read there, right? It shows, like, when they write these versions, they preface it that they're not versions insofar as that it's a new Bible that has never been found before or different than the rest. It is a version insofar as that it's a translation of the same Bible. There might be differences in the manuscript tradition it's using, maybe in the translation philosophy, like I mentioned, dynamic equivalence and formal equivalence, and I think there's a third one that's a mix of the two. There might be different translation philosophies, but they aren't different versions. Like you have two different Bibles compiled early on in like the 1st century. No, that's not what's going on here. And we don't have people that are burning, like Brother Maverick mentioned, early church fathers burning biblical manuscripts and competing for this one standardized version of control. If you actually look at the history of biblical preservation, they arise in different areas, right? Like the manuscripts will arise in different areas, and then they're not controlled.
Right.
So,
I want to address Christian Apologetic. If you will allow me to address a comment in your comment section, if you will allow me to do so, just let me know. I don't know. Is Christian Apologetic there? Oh,
Yeah.
there's a comment that I like to address with your permission.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. From someone that we already knew was going to come in. Show me any Islamic sources said version, please. All you have done, add the word version to suit your Christian needs, because you know you have hundreds of different versions of the Bible. Yeah, you know what, Aladdin? I find it interesting again that your first knee-jerk reaction is to literally repeat the same thing that we said, that even in my presentation I said was the first thing that Muslims love to do, because what you're doing is you are conveniently ignoring history, right? So I don't know if you're going to come up on this panel or not. That's not my call, but I will tell you this. If you are going to be allowed to join this panel, you would better be ready to address the subject matter and only the subject matter, okay? Because you're trying to talk about biblical versions, and there's anyone here who can whoop you around the block on that subject matter. I'm not worried about that. But what you're doing is what Muslims always do. You get an uncomfortable subject, and I gave an entire almost 20-minute probably presentation on this in Cairo 1924, which completely and openly and historically decimates your claim of perfect preservation. And I'm pretty sure you know that subconsciously or otherwise. So now you're in here trying to pick fights with Brother Mike and other people because you don't like that we're exposing the lie that you're brainwashed to believe from your conception. So if you want to come up, we can talk about that, but we're going to talk about that and only that, because people way greater than you, and I mean way greater and more intelligent than you, have failed to prove the claim that you're making over and over about supposed biblical non-preservation. So I'm not even going to entertain you on that, because the Bible, unlike the Quran, has survived thousands of years of scrutiny in message and manuscript evidence.
I think in that area, what we would do is, oh, sorry, I'll just say this real
Oh
quick.
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We would have to cover, like, if Aladin is going to join up, we would have to cover first of all the topic at hand,
right?
Because obviously that's what Brother Maverick wants to do as the guest panelist, and Christian Apologetics Network as the host is, I'm assuming, is going to agree to that. So, if that's the case, that's how we're going to do it. And if we, after that, he wants to talk about like the biblical, because we did talk about it a little bit. So if he wants to do that afterward,
yeah,
I think that would be fair to do.
That's fine. Yeah.
Like if he wants to do it with you or with me or whoever, it doesn't matter.
That's fine. But I will tell you, Christian Apologetics Network, that my argumentation is very simple. I came to you respectfully. I presented on your channel, which I'm honored to do. And when I presented, I gave you guys a little thing called evidence, which is very important, right? I showed you guys the evidence. I gave you guys the names. I gave you guys the places. I gave you guys the occurrences. If I speak with anyone else on this, Aladin or anyone else, and they make any claims, they'd better have evidence, because I'm going to ask one time. I'm not going to turn this into an argument on someone else's channel. I'm going to ask you for evidentiary value one time. If you don't give it to me, I no longer am going to speak. I don't care if they ask me a question. I'm just going to stay quiet, because I'm not going to play these games with them today.
Yeah, so I mean, yes, thank you, Brother Maverick, for answering that thing. But also, because he addressed it to me, I should say.
Yeah, no problem.
Something about it, yeah. Aladin, here's the thing. I'm not sure if I'll be honest here. I'm not sure if any Islamic translators call their translation a version. But just because they don't call it a version doesn't make it a version. So the thing is, if you want to know what a version is, you try to use version like a slur when it comes to textual manuscripts. I don't know why, but this is the definition for a version. It just basically says a particular form of something differing in certain respects from an earlier form or other forms of the same type of thing. So if there's any kind of difference, it doesn't have. If you say you got a different, you got the Hafs and Warsh Quran, even if you say it's only dialect and pronunciation or accent, sure, there's still a difference, and any kind of difference makes it a different version. It automatically classifies as a version. You don't have to put that in the title, but it classifies as a version whether you admit it or not. That's the point of versions.
And because I don't think that he's going to have the intestinal fortitude to come up, he continues to say, please show me Islamic sources that said versions about the translation. No problem here. We have Yasser Qadi, who is a trained Muslim scholar. We have Shadi Heknat Nasser, who said the same thing. We have Ibn Mushahid, okay, who was a 10th century Muslim scholar, very much closer to your prophet, who formally canonized the 7 Quranic readings, and he admitted himself that there was no dot for dot, letter for letter preservation. Okay, we have Ibn al-Jasari, who said the same thing. Abu Amir al-Dani, who actually said there's no perfect preservation. Abu Amir, I'm sorry, I said that one already. And Arthur Jeffrey, while not a Muslim, his work is based entirely on early Islamic sources. Okay, and I actually sent a lot more than that to Young Christian and Christian Apologetics Network. So here's the thing, brother. This is not us saying it. This is established history through your own scholars and independent scholars who have made it clear that your manuscripts are fabricated. Yeah, he's already gone into bot mode, and he's still in the comment section. I could imagine if he were to come up on the panel. Yeah, he's
the
not.
thing is, I don't know where he's getting this from. What Christian context did I impose on the thing? I just read a dictionary version definition for a version. It's not Christian. It's just a dictionary secular definition for the word version and what it means. I'm not imposing anything.
Because he's not he's not truly interested in having an academic conversation with you. He's waiting for a point that he feels like he's ready to argue, because the entire presentation before, make no mistake, he's been here since the very beginning. But because he knows he cannot argue against, he probably spent this time trying to look up anything that I said, trying to find something wrong with it, realized that the Cairo 1924 incident completely decimates his dot for dot, letter for letter claim, and now wants to only talk about the Bible because he feels that's the only thing he has to stand on, and thinks that he can win that conversation. Ask Brother Johnny what happened when he actually called in and tried to have a conversation with me on the Islamic dilemma. Ask Johnny how well Aladdin tracked in that conversation as well. I'm not even gonna say nothing about it.
Yeah. So that was basically, I forget, that was a few months ago when I reached 300 subscribers. He showed up and we kind of had an impromptu debate, Brother Maverick versus Aladdin on the Islamic dilemma. And from what I remember, Brother Maverick was quoting the Quran and I believe the Hadith as well, making the argument that the Quran affirms the Bible and yet contradicts it, or at least the Injil and Torah, whatever you want to say. It makes an affirmation and contradicts it, which would be a contradiction, resulting in the Quran is false. Whether you believe the details are the whole Bible, parts of the Bible, whatever. Like let's set that aside for now. So Brother Maverick argued the Islamic dilemma, and Aladdin, for the most part, his arguments were basically like, "Oh, well, do you know what this Arabic word is? Do you know what it means?" I didn't really hear much of an argument from him, for the most part, from that, which is a little disappointing because there are actual arguments that Muslims at least attempt to make pertaining to Islam. I don't think any of them work, but if you at least try to make an argument rather than say like, oh, well, well, what about the Arabic word here? What does that mean? And like, what does that prove though? Like, so anyways, I was gonna say he did say in the live chat that he wasn't here for the presentation, so he doesn't know the topic. So if you want to, I don't know if you guys want to do this, if he wants to join and talk about the preservation of the Quran in general, and then we can talk about, with that sort of what's the word here, main topic is preservation of the Quran, and then you, Brother Maverick, you can bring up like how the 1924 Cairene text pertains to that. Yeah, I think that would work.
Respectfully, Johnny, I would, and we do it however you got, because I know you're more of a collaborator on this channel than I would. I would make it even more difficult for Aladdin. I would actually hold his feet to the fire on the 1924 incident first, because that leads directly into Quranic preservation, which the 1924 incident proves never existed to begin with. If he can give us counter evidence stating that the 1924 Cairene edition of the Quran is nothing that the Muslim world needs to worry about, then we can move forward. Because at this point, this is what Christian Apologetics Network went through the trouble to schedule this. He went through the trouble to set it up weeks ago, and I don't want him coming in here hijacking his stream. All right, on a smaller Christian channel that's going to be growing a lot, we're not going to allow anybody to come in here and introduce chaos, and you guys know I don't allow that. So my thing would be, I would hold him to the exact rudimentation of what we're talking about, what Christian Apologetics Network wanted his audience to learn about, if he wants to discuss anything. And then if the conversation evolves into something more generic like Quranic preservation, biblical preservation, we can get to that. What happens is, I don't want on YouTube somebody to say, what's this about 1924? And then we're arguing about biblical manuscripts. That doesn't follow. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I think we've done this before, where me and Wooji were co-moderating between, who was it? It was Brother Ray and Aladdin speaking, I believe. And I had to leave afterward, but we were co-moderating, right? So like, I think we'll be able to do that here. Obviously, Christian Apologetics Network, obviously it's up to you, and then you have the power to mute and whatever, so like you'll have that distinctive rated reason. I don't know if you would want to help moderate, maybe like I don't want to make this another double team situation or quadruple team, whatever.
Well, does he want to talk to, see, the thing about it is, he's talking to Ready to Reason. Ready to Reason didn't make the presentation. I will happily talk to him, but he wants to talk to Ready to Reason about biblical preservation. Now, that's a conversation that's very easy to have, especially with a Muslim. But that's not what today's stream is about. So, Aladdin, if you want to request up, understand that you're going to talk to me, and you're going to talk to me about 1924 Cairo. And then, if that conversation is satisfactorily had, by the host and by myself, then we'll allow you to talk about biblical preservation. But I know that you don't want to have that conversation with me. So think very carefully before you request up.
If any.
Again, that's the reason. Okay, so he's keeping on asking me. First he said like reason.
I think-
Please be honest. I know you're honest. Oh, sorry, brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think we all know Aladdin. Now, he is trying to play a game, just like the Maverick said. He has listened to all the presentations, listened to the arguments. He knows that this argument is not something that he can win. And he knows that he's not well equipped in that area. So, and when you notice him, whenever we come live, when he joins the live streams, or probably he's just in the comment section blabbing and blabbing and blabbing, notice that he doesn't join whenever we ask him to join. Or probably he might just single out somebody and say, I want to speak with this person. It's like a lion hunting a deer, then singling out the weak one. Ready to Reason clearly said he does not know much about Quranic preservation and all this. Yet you single out Ready to Reason and say you want to speak with Ready to Reason. Ready to Reason is not a guest. Brother Maverick is the guest. And the topic is the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. You know this about, you've known it some few days ago, and you know you'll be joining this live stream and then you'll be speaking or you wish to speak. If you know you're not going to speak with Brother Maverick, then it's as well don't speak to anybody. But if you are going to speak with Brother Maverick, it's going to be on this text, on this subject, the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. Nothing more, nothing less. Until you are done with the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran, then you can then move to whatever topic you feel like discussing, provided time permits us. Okay, Aladdin. So if you're not going to do this, there's no point looking for Ready to Reason, who clearly said he is not well equipped in this area. Then why do you want to speak with Ready to Reason? Why not speak to Brother Maverick, who is well equipped in that area of discussion?
Yeah. I didn't say he's willing to do the discussion. So yep, request up if you hear it. Join and let's see what you got.
Yeah, I think what would be best.
All right,
is-
join. We are waiting for you.
Yeah, have him
I
join.
will
and then
join you
we
when I
just-
wish to join you, because you know what I mean.
He's already playing the victim because he doesn't want to talk to me. He doesn't want to talk to me because the one time just a little backstory, guys. Aladdin but particularly another Muslim channel named COVFF something, another guy named Muhammad, who's a lot more reasonable than this guy. Him and Aladdin became very obsessed with my channel to the point where there was a 3-week period where they had created it was about anywhere between 13 and 16 pieces of content about me. And I'm not joking. It was shorts, it was live streams, it was community posts, all tagging my name in it. Mind you, this was before I even knew who these people were. And I just so happened to see the tag one day. And accusing me of running, accusing me of not wanting to be in a formal debate with him. One time they did join my live stream, and then COV pretended like he didn't know how to get his mic to work. And then finally Aladdin called in to Johnny's stream. And that's when we ended up having the official debate. I will let you guys go ahead and watch that video and you let me know, but it was horrible. The entire time first of all, he didn't want to have cross-examination. Johnny, am I wrong? Am I lying? Am I lying about that?
I don't believe so. I don't believe he didn't want the cross examination.
Yeah, he did not want cross-examination. He refused. He wanted it to just be rebuttal. So we did like 2 rebuttals and then opening and closing statements, and he never addressed it. He spent the entire time insulting me and telling me that I didn't know how to speak Arabic. That's all he did. He didn't address anything. He doesn't address anything. He's a coward. Honestly, he's a coward. He wanted to speak to Reason because Reason made it clear that he has no idea about any of this.
Yeah, like Alden, and you know us. You know that we're a fair moderator, and you know this. Join us, and we'll be fair. No need to be afraid, and speak to Maverick, and we'll settle everything for discussion. So don't use that as an excuse to say, well, there's insult and so on, and you know us already. So join us for discussion. Ready to Reason already said this is not his expertise, so don't come and take advantage.
I will
Aladdin, I'm saying what I'm saying about you, brother, because it's true, right? Here's the thing. I'm gonna take the same mode of approaching the situation as Jesus Christ was, because I don't know. Maybe the world started to think that Jesus was like this hippie who was just like, don't worry about it, do whatever you want. No, Jesus was extremely intolerant of sin and deceptive behavior. He told people in their faces when they were being deceptive. He called it out. He even listened to what the Pharisees were thinking one time and said, "Why are you thinking this about me?" That it shocked them. Jesus did not hesitate to call out deceptive and sinful behavior. You are an extremely deceptive individual who, for the sake of Islam, wants to speak to a person who has been man enough to admit that he doesn't know about something, and therefore he's the one that you're targeting, saying, I want to talk to you, because you don't want to talk to people who are going to make you look bad. You know this is being recorded, you know it's a VOD, and you don't want it uploaded anymore. You know, why don't you go back to your buddy COV and see if Yemeni will join another stream where you guys can pretend like Dave Fontaine beat David Wood in a debate, and let actual people speak about academic things without invading. I mean, the fact that you're here, I mean, do you have a job? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, you spend all your time stalking these people's channels. You're not doing anything, dude. We're not stalking your channel. We're not looking at your videos because we don't care. We're putting the truth out there. Leave these people alone. Stop. It's Saturday, man. Leave them alone. Stop it.
I think Aladdin, just to make this easier, because we don't need this to drag on any longer. Are you going to join or not, so we know if we're ready to end the stream? Because I think we have time to keep going. We're not like too deep into the stream. It's only first hour, so
Yeah, because I mean, I've been let up here. Christian Apologetic Network and Johnny, I know they both would. I know Christian Apologetic would love to have me debate this guy on this channel. It's definitely great rewatch value for him. So please,
I'll put the timer back up, even if you guys want to do that again. Like,
absolutely. Hey, cross examination and everything, rebuttals. We can do just like the same way that we did with between Fish Resurrection and Grafted. We can do opening statements. We can do one rebuttal. We can do 3-minute cross examination. We can do questions from the audience. We can do whatever you guys want. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm openly stating, I, Maverick, the believer of the one true God, Jesus Christ, is ready to debate this deceptive Muslim on Quranic preservation and the 1924 Cairo incident specifically. Oh, okay, yeah. I join when I feel like joining and speak the way I wish, not the way you want me to speak. Yeah, exactly. So there's your answer, guys.
Okay, so here's the thing, Aladdin. Let me go back to your from where I left you out from. Basically, you asked me, you told me, please be honest. I know you're honest most of the time. Say that no Islamic sources, say version about the Quran. Thing is, I can't affirm something which I don't know about. There could be something out there I don't know. But if that's not, okay, that's not. Let me give that to you. But just because somebody doesn't call it a version doesn't automatically mean it's not a version. Because I showed you a secular definition of the word version, which is a particular form of something differing in certain aspects from earlier form or other forms of the same type of thing. That's all a version is. Anything that is different, it doesn't even have to be letters. Even though Brother Maverick has shown that, there's a change of letters and there's change of meaning, all these things are there. It doesn't even have to be that. Even if there is a difference between a dialect and an accent, it is still a version because there is some difference. That's the meaning of the word version. It's not a Christian imposition, it's just a secular definition. So it says a reason. So why did you affirm to call it a version? No Islamic sources say that. Well, that's the thing. It is still a version because of its own nature. It doesn't have to be in the name. It's version by nature because something is different. That's the reason. It doesn't have to be a letter. It doesn't have to be a word. It doesn't even have to be a meaning. Even though there are differences in meaning, it doesn't have to be to classify as a version. That's the thing. And second thing is, you want to have an academic discussion with me about the Cairo standardization. Issue is, Why do you expect to have an academic discussion with me when I've told you that I'm not well read on this topic? I don't even know what's going on. I'm learning here. That's the thing. So I'm learning here. I can't really debate you on this topic because I've not read about it. How can I have an academic discussion on this? I can have a cordial and respectful discussion. Sure, I can admit where I don't know, and I can get help from my other brothers who are more well versed in this topic. But I can't really debate you on this. If you really want to like put out a proper discussion on this, I definitely encourage you to discuss with Brother Maverick. That's the thing.
Aladdin, yeah, he's gonna keep running from you, reason, because here's the thing, and I'm gonna be I'm gonna say this without being as uninflammatory as I can. Right there, where you already admitted that there's something you don't know about, you were already more of a man than anybody on the Muslim side could ever be, because that's not something they'll ever admit, right? Us, we are taught to be humbled by the one true Savior, Jesus Christ. So if we don't know about something, we're not going to lie. It's like when you ask me a question, I'm like, brother, I can't tell you which was the original. I can't tell, because we have, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to answer you honestly. That's not something in Muslim apologetics. The knee-jerk reaction is to lie or to give the propaganda, right? And that, look what he's saying to say, Maverick, I accept your challenge after we debate about the Bible. He even thinks he's going to come in here and dictate terms on someone else's. This isn't even my stream.
Yeah, I was going to say something on that.
And the host already made it clear how it was going to be. Go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, so I mean, this stream specifically, like, Brother Maverick's made it clear what he wants to do. Christian Apologetics Network has made it clear what the terms are going to be. He's the host, not me. So they're saying that they want this to be about the specific topic pertaining to the 19 Cairene text and overall the preservation of the Quran and how those two things correlate. So that would be the topic here. If you want to talk to Brother Maverick about Christianity, what we could, because I'm assuming he doesn't like me as a moderator alone, which is okay, fine. But I can have, if Wooji's willing to, ETM Apologetics.
You talking about me or Aladdin?
No.
You talking about Aladdin?
No. You. I don't. No, Aladdin had a problem with me when I was moderating.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, what we could do, I'll be willing to host it with Wooji as a co-moderator or even sole moderator if that works, because he's a better moderator than me, I'll say. So we can do that. And okay, he said he doesn't mind me being a moderator. And if Brother Maverick, I'm sure you'd love to debate him on the Bible. It's like you do that every stream,
all the time. Yeah,
all the time. So yeah. If that's, because if you don't want to come here and talk about the 1924 Cairene text, fine. If you want to debate the Bible, it's just not going to be in this stream specifically because there's a set topic. Host has made it clear. Brother Maverick agrees he wants to do that topic alone here. So if you guys want to do another time, I'd be willing to try to set it up. It would make it easier if I had contact with you, Aladdin, because doing it through comments is I hate it. But anyways, we can figure it out if you both agree to terms, so that I can set it up.
And I'll have the debate. If my only request, Johnny, the only one I want to have is that I want it to be I mean, I'm not even gonna say neutral, because in my opinion, there's really no such thing as a truly neutral middle platform. If he does want to debate it, we'll do it right here on Christian Apologetics Network. Set up a time, set up a date. That way it's not, I'm not even going to take it. I'm not going to upload it to my channel, and we go from there. Because here's the thing, guys, this is not about analytics. This is about the truth, right? So I will leave it right here on Christian Apologetics Network. I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, because he's already lying in the comments that I'm telling people what to do. No, I'm telling you that I am here to respect the subject matter and the title of the stream, because this is his stream. It's his channel, dude. The problem is you don't respect people's boundaries. You're going to respect the guy. The man is the Quran perfectly preserved, the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. You want to come in here and have a debate about biblical preservation, and you don't see the problem with that. Come on, man.
So he wants to do it. I mean, I was actually planning to go live right after this to have someone call in. So, but here's what I'll do. Can you join up so we can talk about terms? Just because that'll make things a lot easier.
Because the thing about it is, Johnny, I still have to get ready for my stream. I still have some other things going on. So, listen, if we don't hash this out in the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to take it as him running, because this is a subject matter that I wanted him to do it here, because I wanted Christian Apologetics Network to be the one who, you know what I'm saying? If you do an impromptu stream about it right now, nobody's gonna know about it. Nobody's getting notifications. Nobody's getting any of this. I'm ready right now. Right now, there would be no better way than to cap off this stream with an actual, impromptu debate about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been just like within the next 5 minutes, join up so we can figure this out. Because obviously there's disagreement. So just join up and let's figure out what we're gonna do. See if we're gonna come to an agreement. If we can't come to an agreement, then whatever. It's whatever. We're gonna let it go. Well, actually, Christian Apologetics Network did here, so I yeah, you might have to wait a second.
Yeah.
Christian Apologetics network is not working.
I think he's trying to figure out how he's going to have this conversation or if he really wants to. And again, this is, what's funny, guys, is that Johnny and I first spoke about this 3 weeks ago when he was, gave me the honor of choosing the subject matter and coming onto this channel and making a presentation. And you know what was funny? You guys think I'm lying. I actually have the receipts. I have the WhatsApp messages. Johnny was like, just be aware. Aladdin is probably going to be there stalking and starting his usual stuff. And sure enough, he was 100% correct.
So you gotta telegraph it, since he's Pentecostal, that I prove that prophecy still is in effect.
Please don't have Graf to join and start getting on you. Because you already know he's probably watching this, or he's gonna get it later. He's gonna get on you. Yeah, you know what? Again, Aladdin, stop trying to dictate terms from the comment section, brother. You're saying we can do it now. If you can do it now, call into the channel. If you want Johnny to moderate that bad, he's here. He can moderate. Him leaving and then starting a whole stream, which then you're not going to go over there. You're going to waste everybody's time. We are ready now. We have panelists now. We have somebody ready to defeat you on the subject matter now. We have basically two willing moderators. We have Johnny. We have Christian Apologetics Network.
Yeah, I'll just like, I don't know, be like within the next 3 minutes now. Just join up so we can figure this out.
Yeah, it is 10:23 a.m. where I'm at. If by 10:25 you haven't called in, Aladdin, we'll just take it as a concession. You can say whatever you want. You can cope all you want in the comment section.
Yeah, come on, Aladdin. Yeah, you're talking to me, so I'm telling you, join up. Let's figure this out. We want to work with you here so we can make this work.
Or like I said, you can go back to fangirling and Yemeni streams and stop calling in to people here and bothering them, because that's all you're doing. Yeah. You can go back to looking down at all 4'9" of Yemeni.
Here, I'm gonna get some background music.
He's not gonna call in. He says, Johnny, I said what I want on the comment, because what he wants is what we do.
Okay.
Well,
1 minute and 10 seconds, and then the concession will be official.
He said we could do it now. Islam wants us to debate the Bible, then third would be Quran. Have no problem.
He doesn't even understand what we're saying. We everyone here has made it clear that the subject matter is the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran.
Yeah. So, I mean...
50 seconds.
Yeah, I have no problem hosting it on my channel. Like, I'll gladly do. In fact, the next 2 weeks, I'm like mostly free to do that. So
you should play the Final Prophet as the countdown music.
The Final Prophet, dude. Oh my! I was gonna get the Jeopardy music. Wait, where is it? The Final Prophet. My phone is bugging.
It's the Final Prophet.
What, you got an iPhone?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know. I have a Samsung Galaxy something. I forgot the name. I don't know.
Oh man. Just move on. He already stream sniped. Yeah.
Stream sniped, dude. Oh my goodness.
8 seconds, Aladdin.
You got 8 seconds, Aladdin.
What's a stream snipe?
Stream sniping is it's a term from gaming, like when like Fortnite was really big. Yep. It was more in Fortnite than anything, where the fans or people who would just stalk people's streams, they would use your stream to like ascertain your location and everything, and they would essentially use your stream to cheat, right? It was like a newer form, modern day way of screen hopping, right? Back in the day when I was in the army and we used to play Halo, we used to get on each other about that because it was like, hey man, stop looking at my screen, you damn cheater. It's essentially that's what it was. And people got grieved a lot. Like till this day, from what I understand, Nick A30 still gets stream sniped all the time. Ninja used to get stream sniped all the time. There was a compilation. Oh my gosh, the funniest stream sniping compilation I ever saw was what happened to Felix. What's his name? Johnny Felix. What's his YouTube name?
I don't remember. Was it the guy with the banana?
Yes.
Sniping?
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yes. Felix. Oh, what? Why is it? Hold on.
PewDiePie?
Yeah. No, not PewDiePie. Not PewDiePie. Felix.
It's some guy that had like the banana skin stream snipe and do the saxophone.
Not Felix. Not Felix. What's Felix? Not XQC. He was playing Fortnite. Dude, there was a guy who was wearing a banana skin who stream sniped him to the point where XQC was like literally lifting his feet up in the air and kicking the keyboard because he was so mad. Dude, oh god, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So essentially that's what stream sniping is. It's using someone's stream against them to jump in and try to, get their location and kill them for the sake of saying, hey, and then what they would do is they'd go back to school because they were probably like in 6th grade and clip the thing and be like, oh look, I killed Ninja. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, Aladeen is stream sniping us.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he put in a comment. Johnny read it because it's addressed to you. If I read it, his
Johnny,
comment.
I know the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. I've been to Egypt 10 times and I visited the museum. I have pictures of it.
Great. Now come debate it, Aladeen, with Brother Maverick.
Here. I'll give him another one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Maybe I should get a soundboard.
when you guys talk to Muslims more, these are the kind of answers you get. Hey, Aladeen, what's 2 + 2? My favorite color is red. What? Are you okay? What's going on, brother? We told you we wanted to debate the standardization event of 1924. You stated, I know the 1924 Cairene text of the Quran. I have been to Egypt 10 times and I visited the museum and have pictures of it. You know the Cairene text? How do you have pictures of an entire event that took years to standardize? Here you go.
I think what he's trying to get at is that he has the standardized text or something.
Yeah, of course he does, because they standardized it.
Yeah. That was actually hilarious.
Dude, I think at this point we're basically done. I don't think Aladeen is gonna come up. So I mean, if he still wants to do the debate, we'll figure out another time. But now it's too late at this point. I think we're ready to end the stream.
Yeah.
It's the final prophet. The final
prophet. Christian Apologist Network, are you there? I think we're ready to end because I think
today
you disappeared.
Today, the title of my stream, especially for you, Aladeen, and you are welcome to come in and debate me whenever you want. We'll even have a moderator. The title is going to be, Why Did the Al-Zut Split Muhammad's Moon? I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, all right. I specifically remember telling Brother Maverick to never say that again.
Oh goodness.
Hey man, it's all fair game.
Maybe
these are prophecies. These are their prophecies.
I remember what I showed you in the NASB.
Yep, the Old Testament even prophesied about that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yep.
my, I think I remember that, dude. Hold on, wait. Brother, I need to tell you something. You gotta be careful. This guy read into reason. He says some of the most outlandish things. Like, dude.
I did something similar to Real Faith channel, and Johnny were having a debate reaction to Avery's debate. and I wasn't invited to that one, so we'll leave that one alone. But yeah, they were having that, and I typed in the comment section. What did I say? Oh, I said, I need help, guys. I'm having dreams that I'm being chased by the Alzut, and I don't know what to do. And I knew Johnny saw it because he started. He tries not to laugh on camera, but it's so obvious.
Okay. I mean,
Oh man.
Jeremiah 3:2.
Anyways,
Jeremiah 3:2.
that was it. Right.
And a New American Standard Bible. Raise your
No.
eyes to the bare heights and see, where have you not been violated? You have sat for them by the roads like an Arab in the desert. And you have defiled a land with your prostitution and your wickedness.
Oh man. So Muhammad is in the Bible.
Oh god.
Where's Christian Apologetics Network disappeared?
Yep,
Uh,
this will be fine.
this is what happens when he's not here to end the stream. We like completely just
He's here. I think he just dropped down.
yeah, he disappeared. So because he didn't end the
Oh,
stream,
man.
this happens.
You know what, Mike? You know what's crazy? It's not only his Quran, it's his hadith. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody in the world would know about these things if it wasn't for Quranic sources, if it wasn't for, Islamic sources, right? We're literally reading back to you the things that your early people have written. This isn't us. Christians didn't write this. So you can call it whatever you want. You can get upset by it, but at the end, you're just trying to hurl insults because that's all you know how to do, brother. It's really sad, man. It's really sad.
And here's the thing, Aladdin, you asked me, you start being as filthy as him? I'm like, come on. Here's the thing, we're not making fun of you because you're a person, but I am making fun of Muhammad, and he is definitely worthy of being made fun of. Two things, because he actually, according to your own sources, he was ridden upon by these men. I don't know what else that could mean, but also because of your prophet, there's a lot of people who are on their way to hell,
Mm.
Oh,
and
he's
they're
here.
trapped in this death cult, which doesn't let them leave, and if they leave, they get killed. So I'm pretty sure that a person who finds, who basically found such a death cult is worthy of this mockery. I do believe that. I don't believe you are worthy of this kind of mockery because you're just a person who is following this religion. You didn't find it. It's not your fault. Yeah.
He's
But-
here. The only thing is, the Christian Apologetics Network is not here to bring him up. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this comment. Make fun of your Jesus who had sex incest with his mom to give birth to him. You know what's funny about that? There was no intercourse that actually took place. That's the problem with Muslims, is that you guys say things not understanding that you don't know what you're talking about, but you heard some idiotic dawah dud say it one time, so you think it's funny. But in order for incest to occur, there has to be intercourse. And there was no intercourse because, unlike your limited God, our God does not need intercourse or a consort, as your book says, to make sure that someone is impregnated. That can happen
Remember-
just because he says so.
I need to say something.
Go ahead.
It's mortalism, Patrick.
Hey, so what's going on? Is Christian Apologetics still here? or
Yeah.
no?
His wife, I don't know. This always. Oh, I think he's back now. But his wife always just gets absolutely shattered, and then yeah, so he disappears. But I think he's back. It says 6 people in the studio, unless that's someone else.
I don't
Maybe
know
that's the
about,
maybe that's the heretic I invited, because there was a heretic in my comments. Like, I think he's Iglesia Ni Cristo, saying like, "Oh, Santa Claus boy," whatever the heck he's calling me. I don't know. So I told him like, "Hey, yeah, I don't know." I
Aladdin,
told him-
Aladdin, you know what? If you can show us in the Bible, where it says that the Holy Spirit needed to have intercourse with Mary to impregnate her, I will renounce Christianity right now. I want you to show me anywhere in patristic sources or in the scripture where it says that intercourse was needed in order for Jesus Christ to be conceived in his incarnate form. I want you to show us that. I want you to show everybody in the world for the first time where it says, the way it says in your filthy book, that a consort was needed, because our God
So-
doesn't need a consort. Our God just says, and it is.
So just
Yeah.
really quick, because he is backstage. Are we gonna talk about this, or are we gonna get back to the?
No, we're talking about the 1924 stuff.
I don't know if he's
Because-
backstage. Oh, five.
I think he is backstage.
Yeah, he's backstage. It says 6 people in studio, and one of the names is literally Aladdin Dawa.
Then
Unless,
bring-
unless this is some troll, then okay, maybe it's grafted. I don't know.
well, but I mean, bring him up and see. If it's not him, it's not him.
Yeah. When Grafted did do that to me once. He came in with like a Muslim line, like, "Who is this?" "Oh, it's me." "Oh, okay, it's Grafted." "Oh, I got trolled."
Aladdin, you really are a mentally retarded person. Explain upon her, please. Upon her. So you're saying that upon her, because you are a Muslim. So I'm assuming you're reading your own myopic view into it the way you guys do in Numbers 31. You're saying that because the spirit came upon her, it means that they had intercourse. That is not what upon her means. It literally means that the spirit consumed her. That's what it means. The same way the Holy Spirit consumes every Christian. It has nothing to do with intercourse. The spirit is not reduced to carnal functions the way your God is with his one shin and his curly hair. What are you talking about, bro?
Christian Apologetics Network disappeared again, so I don't know what's going on there.
Bring up the other person, Johnny. I'm dying to see who it is now. It's probably
Well, I
grafted
don't-
because you were talking about him.
I don't have the like the power to that. Christian
It doesn't
Apologetics
show you
Network.
who else is backstage. It tells you there's a person, but you don't know who it is.
Yeah, it tells me if you look at private chat, it says how many people are in the
Six.
studio chat. So it says 6 now because Christian Apologetics Network is back.
Are you there to support that network?
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm
Are
trying
you
to bring him up. I don't know what's wrong with.
Is it Aladdin?
Yeah, it's Aladdin.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'll wait
Whenever I
around for
try
a
to
few.
bring him up
Yeah,
on
he says I'm
stage,
backstage.
Okay,
I'm,
he's
trying
there.
to, I'm trying to find where the
There we go.
Holy Spirit.
Ready
came up
to
with
reason.
the-
Ready to
Aladdin,
reason.
Yes.
Aladdin, you are now.
I am so disappointed of you. I never thought that filth will come out of your mouth like this. I never thought that, honestly. And I was surprised, honestly. You lost my respect to you from now on. I used to respect you, but the filth came out of your mouth. Honestly, you lost my respect to you. I never
Aladdin,
thought.
can I ask a
So
question?
can we go back
Now,
to
Maverick,
the?
I will ask you one question about the topic. One
Okay.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
Answer the question, I'll discuss with you. What is the other name of this Quran in
What?
1924? What is the other name that they use to this Quran that was written? Don't use chat GPT. In
What are you
1924.
what is the name of what?
Answer
Quran?
me, what is the name of this Quran?
Are you
Okay,
asking
so
me?
did you
No, I'm asking Maverick. I want to see
So
how
did you listen to the
what
the
is the name
presentation?
of this Quran which was printed in 1924, please.
Okay. So you clearly didn't listen to the presentation.
Answer the question. I'm talking about
brother,
the topic.
close
Answer the
your
Aladdin,
mouth long
Aladdin,
enough for
Aladdin.
the answer. Because nowhere in the presentation and no one in here can accuse me of saying that they created a new text. The presentation was about the fact that Muslims lie about dot for dot, letter for letter preservation.
You are running
and
away from my question. I will discuss with you if you answer the question. Please,
Aladdin,
asking you,
I'm answering
what
the
is
question.
1924 Cairene text of the Quran
I
name?
am
There is a
answering
specific
the
name for it.
question.
What is it, please?
I am answering the question, dude. Stop cutting me off in the
Give
middle
name,
of my
give the
statement.
name. Just tell me the name is this,
The
and that's it.
topic was not about the what was in the Cairene text. The topic was about why Cairo had to choose one
Answer
Quran.
the question, please. The topic is about the
Aladdin,
1924
let's-
Cairene text of the Quran. You said you're talking about it. Now I'm
Aladdin,
asking you,
Aladdin.
what is the name of this Quran from the cover? I've been to
Aladdin.
the museum, by the way. I've been
Aladdin.
to it 10 times.
Hold on
Answer
a
the
second.
question, please.
Everyone, Aladdin, hold on. Let's stop. Because I'm trying to moderate here. So, are you bringing this up to
there
make
is
an
no
argument?
debate. There is no debate here.
No,
Let him answer the question, please.
Aladdin,
If you will not answer the question, now he's searching in Google.
Aladdin,
I am out. Thank you. He
Calm
failed
down.
to answer the question. I'm out.
Aladdin.
I'm out. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay,
He
bye.
doesn't have knowledge about it. He's talking about
Bye.
something that
You're gonna leave?
Maverick,
Are you gonna
when you know
are
what
gonna
is the
run
name
your
of
mouth?
this
Aladdin.
Quran,
Hey,
talk-
Aladdin.
Okay,
Are you
okay,
gonna stay or are you gonna leave? Hey,
uh,
Aladdin, are you gonna stay? Yeah, okay. There you go.
I tried to tell you.
I was trying to moderate here, so I'm trying to ask, like, are you making an argument here, or are you just?
He said there's no moderation. And I made it clear to him that we're not talking about the Cairene text and what was in it. We're talking about why Cairo had to choose one version of the Quran, because all of the Qurans are saying something different, because children are reciting different things of the Quran, which is completely irrelevant to exactly what the Cairene text says, because we know that the Cairene text was the one that was chosen by them, which is what I was trying to get to.
I think his question was, what is the name? So he was like, what is the other name for it? Which I believe your presentation included. It was like Hafs. I forget the name. Hafs
The Hafs.
something.
Hafs al-Anin is the one that they chose, which is what I was trying to get to, but he wants to talk in the middle of people's sentence.
I think. Oh yeah. So basically, what he's also asking is basically what is the name of that edition, the Cairo edition, which I did a quick Google search. It says Azhar Quran, the Azhar Quran, or something.
You know why it's called the Azhar Quran? Do you guys remember the name of the individual who led the council that I told you guys was the one who decided which Quran they were going to use? That's why they call it that, because that was his name. That's the only reason why.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Thing is, I don't know what significance that has to the debate. It's just the name.
No, he was just insulting. You see in the live chat, he says he doesn't know the name of this Quran. He. So his whole point was, oh well, it's you see, he doesn't know the name, right? So
I didn't even get to it because all he wants to do is run his filthy mouth all the time. I made it clear, and I was trying to get to it, that if you had actually bothered to listen to the presentation, you would know that this was not about them creating their own Quran. This was about them choosing an existing Quran. And it was the Hafs. They chose the Hafs. Why? Because that was the most popular used Quran in that region, in Cairo and Egypt and the surrounding regions at the time. So it was the easiest way for them to standardize. Because make no mistake, the Egyptian government wouldn't have cared which one they chose. They went the way of the dollar. Which one is going to cost us the least? Which one is going to be the easiest for us to get our hands on? Which one is going to be the easiest for us to say this is it and the other ones are not being used? That was the answer. But he didn't want that answer because he thinks that people have to speak the way he Aladdin is like lesbiano duck lips. They don't want you qualifying answers. They just want you answering in the way that they want.
He's back again, but again, the Christian Apologetic Network is not here, so I can try. I don't know if we want to try this again because.
Yeah. Okay. So he's saying it's not the Azhar Quran. So what is it? Then?
Brother, a simple Google search showed what the answer was. He's not going to engage you academically because he's foolish. He just wants to talk over you and laugh with his little cope laugh because he knows that you're actually ready to answer his questions. And then he wants to try to sit there and play victim with you about, I lost respect. Oh my, I'm sure Reason is going to lose tons of sleep about the fact that he lost Aladdin's respect.
Yeah, I know that he's playing the victim when it comes to. Well, he's not insulting you, Aladdin. He's just insulting your prophet. Like when we study your prophet, like who is that for us to respect?
Yeah.
Because even your prophet, he insulted Arabs pig and he tell him to go and bite your father's penis. Why don't you go against your prophet by insulting him?
Christian Apologetic Network, are you there? Hello, Christian Apologetic Network.
Oh wait, yeah. Azhar is
Earth to Christian Apologetics Network.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I do have some other things that I need to get to. So I really, Christian Apologetics Network, I don't know if you hear this now or later. I really do appreciate it. What did he say? Ready to Reason Azhar is not the name.
His name, the university.
it's a university.
His name is...
He's saying that it's not a name of a person, it's a name of a university. I'm like, oh.
That he didn't ask where the Cairene text was. He said, what is the name of it? And when I tried to explain to him that the Cairene text of the Quran is what they chose, he's trying to pretend like whatever. You know what, Johnny, from now on, whenever we have anything going on, I don't even want to hear what Aladdin says. I don't want to hear. Guys, this guy actually told Grafted, I don't know who he complained to. He was complaining like a female about being blocked from my channel. And it was crazy because he's told Johnny that Grafted and I both blocked him from our channels. What was more funny than that is less than 36 hours after that, I screenshotted another comment because every video I drop, every short, every video, every live stream, he leaves a comment because this is what he does. He waits for us to do stuff and then he wants to leave comments on it. He left a comment after telling Johnny that I blocked him. But if you're blocked, you can't leave comments. So I screenshotted it. And I said, isn't this the one who said that I blocked him? Yeah, exactly. He brother, even about the smallest things, he lies. He doesn't have the intellectual capacity. Don't Reason, ETM, Christian Apologetics Network, and Johnny. Don't waste your time with this guy. That's all he is. He's a waste of time. He's a distraction. He wants to pull you off topic because that's what Dawa does. He was in the stream with Yemeni, all 4'9" of Yemeni with his greasy hair, telling them that they should not be speaking to us anyway. As a matter of fact, I wonder if I should actually bring this up, if I should clip this and send it to Yemeni on TikTok and say, hey, you remember that dude who was glazing you in the live stream, who was sitting there pretending like Superman called into the show and he was like, oh my gosh, Yemeni, oh my God, Yemeni, oh, I love you so much, Yemeni. I wonder if I should send it to him and show Yemeni that Aladdin is doing the opposite of what he wants, which is to boycott Christian streams. Because Aladdin's in here all the time. So I wonder if I let Yemeni know that Aladdin is constantly in here losing debates to us, if Yemeni would still look at him and COVFF the same way. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clip this and I'm going to send it to Yemeni. I'm going to be like, look, bro, after you get up and you put the phone book on the stool and you can actually see this message, I just want you to know this is what's going on. So they'll probably don't call into their shows anymore because he thinks he's bigger than the program.
Yeah, Christian Apologetics Network keeps disappearing, so like I'm trying to let him know that it's Aladdin. I'll tell you this: it's Christian Apologetics Network's call whether you are brought up again, because I'm not the host, Brother Maverick's not the host, Red Reason's not the host, ETM Woody, he's not the host. So it's ultimately the call. The final call will be on Christian Apologetics Network on whether you are brought up again, because. I'll be honest, that was not a really good display to go out and not make an argument, but ask about the name to try to insult someone. That was not a...
Yeah, he's not.
Right.
I mean, first of all, I didn't even get to answer the question. And because this is someone else's channel, you want to keep cutting me off, I'll just stop talking. But at the end of the day, he didn't really want the answer. He didn't want the answer because he's asking the question based on a false premise, because no one made the assumption, no one made the assertion in my presentation or otherwise in any other conversation that Cairo invented their own text. What we're telling you is that the Cairene text is the text, the manuscript text that was chosen by Cairo in 1924. They didn't invent anything. They just chose one from existing from all the different ones that you guys have.
Yeah, look, and also, Aladdin, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me filthy Christian boy. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's just words. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you. And all I want for you, personally, Aladdin, is that you will repent of what you're doing, and you will come to Jesus, and He's able to save you. And that's enough. That's enough.
Yep.
I don't really hold it against you.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Aladdin. Like, I understand that you may have been insulted when we talked about the Al Zoot. But once you joined up, we were trying to start like the academic discussion, because like after you seem to have, at least all of us were under the impression that you weren't gonna join up. So we were just waiting for Christian Apologetics Network to come back. I forgot who mentioned the Al Zoot. I think it was Brother Patrick. I don't know. Someone brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go again. But
all I do is read, baby. All I do is read.
And if you were offended by that, I understand. And I mean, like, we didn't stop you from talking about in the live chat whatever you want, the Holy Spirit or whatever. Like, we allowed you. But as soon as you joined up, now we were ready to start the conversation about the topic. And you defaulted to, oh, well, do you know the name of this 1924 Cairene text? Oh, you don't? Okay, you see? So that's the issue here. Like, insulting itself, which is one thing we can spend days talking about, but that's one thing. But when we were ready to start the conversation,
right?
Like, as soon as you joined up, I think as far as I know, all of us stopped with the whole Al Zoot stuff. We were ready to start the actual conversation. Right. So then you defaulted to that, which is the issue. So it's all, and he's back. So Christian Apologetics Network, it's going to be up.
Yeah, it'll be up to him. We all joke, guys, but because I'm stepping off, before anything else, I want to give Christian apology. I mean, we all joke, whatever. At the end of the day, the things about Muhammad or whatever, I don't consider it disrespectful because it's in your theology, it's in your books, it's in your hadith, right? So at the end of the day, whether you like that we bring it up or not is a separate issue. But remember, these are you guys have source material about your supposed prophet. Those kinds of things don't exist about Jesus Christ. That's why you have to say things like, oh, Jesus came upon his own mother. Now you can say stuff like that and you can manufacture it, but when we actually speak about things that are well known in Muslim tradition, you don't like it. So before I go, Aladdin, and respectfully for the Christian Apologetics Network, I'm going to say this to you. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree bad and its fruit bad. For the tree is known by its fruit. You brood of vipers, how can you speak good when you are evil? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The good person out of his good treasure brings forth good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure brings forth evil. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. And I will let you guys go ahead and figure that one out. Thank you guys so much for having me, man. As always, be safe, be good, be blessed. I will see you guys when I see you. Remember that Jesus is king. And of course, to everybody here, thank you guys so much for the honor of allowing my presentation. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Maverick, Christian Apologetics Network, are you there? I can't get that out sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the network is
So-
kind of bad.
Oh
What's
yeah,
going on now?
that-
Yeah, so I just want to make sure it's your call if you want to let Aladdin back. Brother Maverick already had to go, so I don't know if Aladdin even wants to still come up, but it's ultimately your call because you're the host. So
For the biblical dialogue, right?
I'm sorry. Hold on, let me turn my volume. What'd you say?
I said for the biblical dialogue.
For the biblical dialogue, I mean, I'm willing to, because Aladdin is talking about the Holy Spirit coming upon Mary, so I'm willing to do that. But right now, Brother Maverick is not here to do that, so that's that biblical dialogue between them two won't happen. If he wants to talk about that, I'm fine too. I was trying to talk to someone, but he obviously didn't show up. So if you are okay with it, this is your channel, right? So it's up to you. I'm giving you the, or I'm not giving you anything. It's your channel. So like I said, it's ultimately up to you.
You can come up since you. There's no, let me add him. I didn't even know I didn't even know
Hello,
he's in the
Dean.
backstage. I never knew that.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I didn't speak. Why do you mute me? You brought me here to mute me? Why was I muted?
You
What
might
do
have
you
been on mute.
I was muted. I said hi and I was muted. Well, I will be filthy as you are, so don't blame me. So I deal with you the same filth you deal with me. Usually I do not do that. So if you are filthy, so I'm filthy now as filthy as you are. Because once you talk about the Bible, you have to be filthy. Other than that, you cannot be respectful once you are speaking about filth in the Bible. So I hope you are not offended. So I'm using the same filth language that you are using, which I do not like. I do not do. But when we speak filth, I'll speak filthy as you are, especially this filthy Indian Christian boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So what do you want to
so-
talk about, Johnny? If I don't want to
Me
talk
and you?
about the Bible, by the way, Johnny, let me tell you something. The name of the Quran that he was talking about out of his stupidity without even knowing it, and he doesn't know anything about it. He doesn't know what he was talking even about. They call it the Quran of King Fuad the First. So it was King Fuad who was the king during that time, and he's the one who suggested to print this Quran for the sake of education in their schools. So it was printed and it was called under his name the Quran of King Fuad the First in Egypt. So this is the name of the book, which I am aware of. Believe me, I've been to Egypt more than even 10 times. and they have one museum only for this manuscript of this Quran. It is there, and I've been there, and I have pictures. I took it by myself, so I know what is going on. I did not listen to his presentation. Actually, I came in when he started talking and lying about Mus'haf Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, and he was talking about Mus'haf Abdullah ibn Mas'ud out of ignorance without knowing nothing about it, as usual, twisting the Quran, twisting all those things just to suit your needs. So, what do you want to talk about, Johnny? In
If
regard to this debate, Johnny, I think it's fair enough. I debated him what he called Islamic dilemma, and you were the moderator. I did that when he requested. I did it on the spot. Now I think it's fair enough to tell him now debate me about Christianity. Then after that, I will debate you the third debate about Islam. Have no problem. But the problem that he always want to debate Islam. He doesn't have the guts to speak about Christianity like you do. I respect you, Johnny. You have the guts to speak about the Bible.
Okay.
I respect you for that. So,
Aladdin, really quick, are we because you started talking about Maverick here, but he's gone now. So are we going to talk about? I'm willing to talk about if Christian Apologetics Network allows it. I'm willing to talk about what you brought up pertaining to the Holy Spirit and Mary and Jesus. If that's okay with Christian Apologetics Network, I'm willing to talk about that.
no. If you want to talk about Islam, I'll talk about Islam. Bring me the presentation. What he said in his presentation, I did not actually. I didn't. Honestly, I just arrived. I was at work. You see, I know you know that I have my own business and I go home weekend around 11, 12.
Aladdin,
What is the
Aladdin,
presentation?
Aladdin,
Think about it.
Aladdin, Aladdin. Brother Maverick is gone. Forget about the presentation. He's gone already. When he was live, you chicken out. I mean, you are the one that
No.
every
Stop.
time
Do you
you
know
come
what
here,
he
you always
say?
shout,
You know why I
Brother
stopped?
Maverick,
No.
I tried to debate him. He blocked me. He blocked me.
You filthy
Now
chicken. Don't
Brother
say
Maverick is here. You chicken out. Speak whatever you want to. Any topic you want to discuss it, please.
filthy chicken. Will you let me speak? I did not speak because he started insulting Prophet Muhammad. He started using filthy, dirty Christian words live, and you did not even stop him or bother him or tell him don't do that. So therefore, I did not join you. Maybe you are away. Listen to him. He started using filthy, dirty words, and I was surprised that Ready to Reason spoke also as filthy as he is. Jenny was the only respectful. So therefore, I did not join. Watch the stream. He spoke filthy, dirty words came out of his mouth.
Okay,
He's
Maverick is in the waiting room.
he's
Let's
back.
see.
So let's
No,
let's
I will
so
not speak with filthy man like him. I will speak with his filth if he will accept the debate for Christian. I thought he left. Why he's back?
Yeah,
Now, if you want to debate the Bible,
I mean, you
Johnny,
started talking about it.
fix
So
it in your channel. Johnny, fix it in your channel on this channel. We will have a Christian debate. Okay? Christianity. Then after that, we'll debate about Islam. I have no problem. But you guarantee me that he will keep his filthy mouth clean. There will no shit will come out of his mouth like he always do.
all right,
You
all
know,
right.
he's always shitting
here-
out,
so-
and you know it. You know it that he insulted. You know that. I was quiet. I was typing. He started shitting out of his
Here-
mouth,
hold on,
and
Razine, hold on.
ATM allowed him to speak.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Aladdin, you gotta calm down for a second. Let's Christian Apologetics Network disappeared again. So Brother Maverick is back. So what do you want me to set up a debate on Christianity with Brother
Yes.
Maverick?
Yes, let's say is Jesus God, for example. We can talk about this topic, and we have a debate: is Jesus God? This type Christianity, plain Christianity. Okay, we can do that. Then the third debate, again Islam. I have no problem. I gave him what he asked for. I granted him the debate in your channel, and you know that.
All right.
Islam. I spoke about Islam. Now it's time for him to have the courage not to cower up, to man up and speak about Christianity, debate Christianity, as I
Yeah,
debate Islam with you.
He said in the live chat he can talk about it right now. Only thing is Christian. I can call him. I don't know if that's gonna sound well, but I can call him right now because Christian Apologetics Network disappeared, so he can't bring him up now. So I can. I don't know if that will work. Let me see, Brother Maverick. You mind if I try calling you?
Will
see how
you
this goes?
guarantee me that he will not shit filth out of his mouth and he will be respectful? And if
So
he will
let's-
speak filth, he will shut him up.
All right. So do
Johnny,
If-
guarantee me that. Guarantee me that. I want your word on this.
yeah, if you guys can you both of you are not going to insult each other and say insults. Is that the agreement?
Yeah, I mean, from
Yes.
if
Yeah,
I'm in-
that's the-
I'm
that's
saying,
the-
yeah, sure. Okay.
That's the agreement. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope Aladdin that both parties don't bring insults like what you're doing
Yeah.
right
Here,
now.
I'm gonna try calling. If the sound doesn't work, then we'll have to wait for Christian Apologist Network to come back. Let's see.
Johnny, how about starting your channel and we can do it in your channel so you can control everything? Because here you are not controlling the admin, the moderator is not here. You cannot in your channel you control everything, so you will be in control. Here you cannot control anything. You say it, you cannot bring them. So do it in your channel. I'll join your channel, okay? And I will make sure that those filthy who speak filthy will not be also as filthy as this in your channel, especially ready to reason. So you will control them when they will speak filth out of their mouth. This Indian Christian boy.
Saying I said something filthy. Quote what I said was filthy. Quote my words.
No, I will not repeat the filth because I am not as filthy as you are. So I don't speak filthy words like you do, boy. I
Okay,
don't.
okay, censor my words and quote them.
No. As a human being, I will not speak such filthy words that because normal human will not be as filthy as you are. He will not speak as filth as you did. You know that you spoke filth words. You know
What
that you.
word? What filth
I
word did I?
don't need you. You know it for yourself. Ask yourself. I don't know because I am not that filthy to speak those filthy words again. I don't use those filthy words. But for you as a Christian, it's common for you when you read Ezekiel 23:20 and Song of Solomon. So it's normal for you to speak those filthy words, but not me. Okay?
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, Aladdin. Well,
So Johnny, please, you open your channel, so I will join your channel, Johnny. Please, it's better in your channel, Johnny, because this stream already became
Johnny, if
filthy.
you're talking,
This
it's kind of
this stream is already polluted with filth.
yeah,
So I don't want to be polluted anymore with their filth.
I
Please.
think
filthy.
so. You can't give us an example of what he said. But he was using filth language when he was here. He was using the S word, provocative.
Yeah. I used S word after you used what you said about
Yeah,
Islam.
no problem. But
So
the
no.
question-
It's not no problem. It's problem. I
no,
don't
okay,
do
no.
this usually. I don't know, but I told you if you slap me on my right, I'll slap you on your left and right and step on your stomach as well.
Okay,
Okay, hold on.
Aladdin,
You do
can,
that.
can, hold on. So I just called Brother Maverick. He agreed to come on my channel. You guys want to talk about the Bible, right? The Bible.
Yeah, he said, let's debate is Jesus God. We'll do it in your channel.
All right. So
Christianity. And you
Yeah.
guarantee me no insult. Johnny, no insult.
Aladdin, okay, I got it. Well, so I'll start I'm gonna set up the StreamYard. I just want to clarify, Woodgie, Ready Reason, are you guys okay with just ending the stream as soon as Christian Apologetic Networks come back? Because
Yeah.
I feel bad because I don't want to like take away from him and then it's my I just feel bad about that. So if
Yeah.
you guys can let him know. I don't know what
Yeah.
to do after like we both leave because he's not
Yeah.
here. So if you guys just handle that.
Yeah, we can do that.
No
Okay.
problem.
So Aladdin, I'm gonna
Filthy Christian boy, join the debate. I would like you to watch and learn. So you will learn some manners and you will learn some Bible.
Call him by.
Okay?
Call him
Aladdin,
by.
just we're gonna-
Aladdin, calm down. Call him by his name. You know his name.
No, I am calm down. No, I'm calm
No,
down.
I don't mind if
what
you
he
call
called.
me
No,
that.
no.
I don't have.
Guys, I'm gonna go set up the stream. So you'll have a blessed day.
You know, what I do, I use the same words that he is using. Finish. I'm not using that word. I'm using the same word that he was shitting out of his mouth. So I start
hold on.
the same
Aladdin,
word. That's it.
He did not insult you personally.
No. I will insult you, and I say that your
Okay.
God had sex with his mother.
Okay.
It is a
Aladdin, go ahead, insult me. I don't mind. Okay,
No.
because I'm not angry when you insult me. I don't mind
really,
it.
really. When I call you filthy, I do not insult you. That's not actually. I'm flattering you. So you should be happy that I am calling you filthy because calling someone like you as a filthy, that's not an insult.
Sure.
That's common for a person like you.
I'll tell you, I'm a filthy sinner. Man. I'm a filthy sinner.
So don't be offended. Don't be offended.
No, I don't
You are filthy. The
I
words
am
came
filthy,
out of
man.
your mouth. Do you know what did you say? Do you realize the words that came, the filth that came out of your mouth?
What did he say?
No.
Listen,
You will know. He knows what he said,
What
and
did I
you know what he said because you were here. So therefore, from now on, I will call you filthy Christian boy. I used to respect you. Believe me, you are the highest among them that I respect. I used to have really
Well,
high
I
respect.
don't live for anyone's
No,
respect.
no more.
Somebody lives
Now,
for
no more. No.
and I have it.
No, you don't deserve my respect.
Yeah, I don't care if I get anyone.
Okay.
No. Respect is gain. So you have to cry to me to gain my respect again, boy.
Why should
Filthy
I cry
Christian
to
boy.
you?
You,
You're
you
insulting as
will.
well.
Trust me. Christian
Yeah,
filthy boy, you will.
I don't
Okay.
mind, Aladdin. Call me whatever you
So
want.
leave you to reason from now on. If I say on chat,
Yeah,
filthy Christian boy, so I refer it to you. So you should know
yeah,
that, okay?
sure,
I know,
okay. Yeah, I don't
don't
mind.
speak.
Aladdin, aren't you supposed to be in a debate? They
I am
said no
out.
debate.
I am out now. Thank you very much.
Okay, see
All
you
right.
at some other channel. Yeah, anyways. Yeah, I mean, people are watching. I don't really mind, guys, whatever they call me, because to be honest, am I better than Jesus? Jesus, whom they called Prince of the Demons? Am I better than him? No, not at all. I'm worse off. I'm actually worthy of all kinds of insults. So I don't mind the insults. And again, even when they insult Jesus, I'm not gonna. Yes, I will defend Christ because that is my duty given from Christ. But I'm not gonna get angry at these people because even Jesus wouldn't be angry when they insulted him. He would forgive them. He didn't defend himself. So, and
Yep.
goes on to show how much of a religion of peace this is. Religion of peace, angry, angry religion.
The moment you speak against Muhammad, these guys were angry. They start playing the victim. They playing the victim like, okay, well, if you want to demand respect, study what your prophet did, how he treated all these orphan girls, the women, the pagans. How did he treat them? And when he says that in the hadith to go and bite your father's clitoris or penis, then go against your prophet. Say why he insulting these pagans, or when he tell the orphan girl that you will never increase in years and cause this orphan girl to cry. Go against your prophet. Why would he curse someone like that? All we doing is quoting your source. What your source says, and you said we just making a joke because Muslims always claim that Muhammad was prophesied in the Bible. If you okay, if we gonna go into your game, Muhammad was prophesied in the Bible. They want to quote the good things. Maybe Jeremiah 3 must be about Muhammad, since the Muslim claim, and they prophesied with Muhammad with Al Zut. It's in your source. Your source says Muhammad was mounted by about 20, 30 men of Al Zut. Don't go against us. Go against what your source says. Can't be a you can't talk bad to us. We're not making this up. All we're doing is quoting what your source
Yeah,
says. Yeah.
yeah. And again, guys, be mindful. The Alzot story, as horrible as it seems, is from Islamic sources. We didn't make it up. It's just from Islamic sources. And if they want, yeah, they can say it's inauthentic. They can say that, but I don't see a reason why it's inauthentic. But at the end, and yeah, that's the thing. But when you bring their sources, it's filthy insults. I did not use any curse words. Nope. I did not even use like explicit language. Not just be curse words, but like sexually explicit language. I did not use that. I only said that the only joke I did make is about the NASB translation prophesying this, which again I know it's taken out of context. I admit it's a joke, guys. It is a joke. It's not a real prophecy. But the reason we joke about it is because Muhammad is worthy of this kind of mockery. I wouldn't joke about Aladdin because he's I would say he's actually a victim of this ideology. Sadly, I feel sad about this. I hope one day he'll come to Christ, and the amount of passion he's putting into defending this death cult, he would actually put into defending the truth, and I would actually be very happy about that.
Oh yeah, Christian Apologetics Network. Oh yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'll be able to join the other stream because I've got to pack because I'm gonna leave for a short trip.
Oh,
So
interesting.
I'm gonna have to do some work after this.
So you really have
Sadly,
a studio.
sadly, Aladdin, I don't think I'll be joining the other stream. You can say I'm running away or something like that.
I'll see what's going on in the other stream. But
I'll
City was put in the chat. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just give Aladdin the chance to say that. Be happy. That's my Christmas present to you. You can say that Ready to Reason is running away from me.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Christian Apologetics.
There he is.
Floor is open. You could turn down the stream. Christian Apologetics.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there we go. You
Floor
on
is
and
yours now. Floor is yours.
I'm sorry.
Larry.
oh yeah.
Are they done?
Yeah,
Yes,
long
they're basically done, but
Wow.
yes, they're headed over to Johnny's channel because Aladdin was demanding that he debate on Johnny's channel, and then Brother Maverick also came back in the comment section saying, "Okay, I'll agree to debate," and then they're like, "Yeah, we can't have the debate right now in this stream because." He was saying all these things, and then they're like, "Okay, you know what? Sure." And then Johnny had to leave to host the debate on his channel right now.
The
Yeah.
debate on 1924 Cairene text.
No, it's about
Yeah.
the Bible. Is Jesus God or something? I believe that's the.
Yeah. Very, very easy topic. But anyways.
Yep.
Well, I mean, he called me filthy chicken. I I had that before the network went off. Called me filthy chicken. I mean, that's all he could do. He can only resort to names calling. Because I told him, I said it's chicken out, which he actually did because you all would agree with me that whenever we host a live or he comes live or whenever, he keeps on talking about Brother Maverick and being afraid of debating him. But to my surprise, Brother Maverick was even the one calling him out for the debate. And you could see him shaking out. He doesn't want to join the debate. When he joined, the first thing he asked was, what was the name of the 1924 Cairene text called? Imagine, what does that have to do with the discussion? Even if the people doesn't know what the name was, does it change anything about the presentation or the discussion? I mean, you can see how he knows he's going to lose the debate automatically. So he just looked for something that he could use to just say he knows that Brameric was not going to know the name. So he wanted to use that. You don't know it then. Why do you have to discuss about this? You don't even know this simple thing. I mean, that's very childish of him. So he has been the one running away from the debate with Brameric all this while. Now, because of the absence of Brameric, is playing the victim card. Now you could see that when Brameric left again and then he come up, then the next thing is that okay, let us talk about the 1994 Quran text of the Quran. Now, the man that wanted to debate you is no longer here. Then you now want to start the discussion again. That was what I have to come on. When this man was here, you never talked about anything. You were even being chicken out. You didn't want to come up on stage. When you came up on stage, the best you could do was ask for the name, nothing much. And now, when the man that wants to debate you is no longer here, you now want to start the debate thinking that okay, that we that are here also did not know anything about the 1924 Korean text. He's so lucky that my network is so bad. I could have debated him on that 1924 Korean text, and I should put him in his place.
Well, yep. Anyways, that was quite a wild live stream.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
expect that, but
Yeah.
But it was good to have Brother Maverick on, so that was actually pretty educational, and I actually loved it. Thank you for hosting this, Brother Christian Apologetics.
All thanks to Guji and Young Christian Thoughts that brought Maverick here.
Yeah.
I never did anything.
Thank you, OG.
Yeah.
no, that was actually young Christian because he knows him. We're friends.
That's lovely.
I mean,
Well, folks.
when you before we go, I just want to speak about says one two things that one of the things or the root cause of the confusion of the Quranic text while I was doing my study is this. I saw that the root cause was actually Muhammad himself, not Uthman not Abu Bakr, not any of this. It was Muhammad himself, because Muhammad was the one that gave different revelation that were not consistent and teaching different variants Quran himself. If you can remember, there was a time when one of his companions was writing a different surah, and the other one had him, and then he grabbed his head, his cloth on his shoulder, dragged him to the prophet. He was, I mean, he literally beat him up, saying he was reciting a different thing. Then when it got to Muhammad, Muhammad said, "Oh, it was revealed a different Kirat." And I mean, if it was not entirely different, it wouldn't result in beating. So it is right from the beginning of the revelation from Muhammad himself. That was the reason you could see the different citation when Uthman wanted to compile the Quran and Abu Bakr also did the compilation. There were different citation flying around. Why? Because they all learned it from Muhammad, who gave them different citation that had different meanings, and that was how till date we still have different, because there's nothing you can use to defend it, because even when you look at all the earliest Quranic manuscripts, you will still see the same thing, that even those Quranic manuscripts that were dated at the same era, the same dispensation, they have different things being written there entirely, and they are from the same dispensation. It shows that this all boils from the foundation of Islam, from the man who handed over the Quran to them. So just want to say that I think that will be all for today. I'm very sure that you guys enjoyed the presentation of Brother Maverick. I did. Everybody did. So by God's grace, next week we'll continue with this presentation. We'll be hosting Pastor Jason Bones next week also to speak on um, the compilation of the Quran and the beginning of the Revelation. So join us next week. We will still continue in this series till next year, by the grace of God. So for myself, Young Christian Thought, Young Christian Apologetics, ETM Apologetics, and Raise the Reason, we say God bless you for joining us. See you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye,
Aladdin
everyone.
hasn't joined. Aladdin, you are
Yep.
they are waiting for you. Please go and join now, and don't chicken out like you chickened out when Brahmavik was here. And after Brahmavik left, you also came in and then start wanting to bring up the topic again. Go and sit to the debate and and go and be schooled. Seems you need
Mm.
thorough schooling.
They bark, but they don't bite. They bark.
Yeah.
Interesting.